Happy day children, this is class 5 SST chapter 1 Latitudes and Longitudes. So before getting into the chapter, you all learned in previous class about latitudes and longitudes, right? So in this lesson, we are going to learn more about these imaginary lines, okay? So first, we all know that Earth is spherical in shape or geoid in shape, which means it is flat at the poles and it is bulged in the middle. So in this picture, you can find the shape of the Earth and another imaginary axis which you have learnt already in the previous class about axis. So what is an axis? Axis is an imaginary line in which the Earth is rotating itself. It is called as an axis. So one complete rotation, it takes about 23 hours, 56 minutes and 4.1 seconds. Okay, so now we will learn about the globe and more about latitudes and longitudes. So children, here you can find the picture of a globe. So what is a globe? So in globe you can find all the countries and all the continents around the world, and you can find the exact shape of the earth. So this is a globe and it is in a spherical shape. Okay, and what is the use of globe? We can able to locate all the places. You can find the sea route, air route, and about all the places, even the small place in the world you can find in a globe. So next, in this picture you can find about the latitudes. So what are latitudes exactly? Latitudes are the imaginary lines which you can see here. So it flows from east to west. Okay, and you have almost 180 lines of latitudes around the earth. So we all learned that earth is divided into two halves, right? So one is northern hemisphere and the other one is southern hemisphere. Okay, so in the northern hemisphere, both northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere are divided by an imaginary line called equator. So that is the 0 degree imaginary line. So that is called as an equator. So above equator, all the places, it is called as northern hemisphere, and all the imaginary lines below equator, it is called as southern hemisphere. So in this picture you can find all the important lines of latitudes. Okay, so above northern hemisphere you have 90 lines of latitudes, and below equator you have 90 lines of latitudes. Next, here we will learn more about the lines of latitudes. So 0 degree latitudes is the equator, and above equator you have Tropic of Cancer. It flows from east to west in 23.5 degree north. So since it is in northern hemisphere, we have to mention it as north. So above Tropic of Cancer, another important line of latitude is the Arctic Circle. It is measured at 66.5 degree north. Same way here, below equator in the southern hemisphere, the important line of latitude is Tropic of Capricorn. It is measured at 23.5 degree south. So below Tropic of Capricorn you have Antarctic Circle, which is near to Antarctic continent. So that is measured at 66.5 degree south. Now we will learn about longitudes. So longitudes are the imaginary lines which run from north to south. Okay, latitudes if you take, it runs from east to west, whereas longitude it runs from north to south. Okay, and you have 360 lines of longitudes around the earth, which means 180 in the eastern hemisphere and 180 in the western hemisphere. Okay, so all the lines of longitudes, it follow a north-south direction. So next, if you take the 0 degree longitude, which you can find in the middle of the earth, so that is called as a prime meridian or a Greenwich meridian. So all the longitudes, they are not parallel to each other like latitudes. They all run from north to south and they meet at the pole. So if you take in this picture, all the lines of longitudes if you take, they meet at the poles. Whereas if you take latitudes, they will not meet each other. They are all parallel to each other. So next, here you can find the difference between latitudes and longitudes. So in this picture you can find all the lines of latitudes, and here you can find all the lines of longitudes. The latitudes, it's run from east to west as you see in this picture, and here longitudes, if you take all the lines of longitude, it's run from north to south. So the red color mark, you can think, what is this red color line? This is the equator, that is 0 degree latitude, and here if you take, this is the prime meridian or 0 degree longitude. So in this picture you can find all the lines of latitudes and longitudes both together you can find in this picture, right? So why we are learning latitudes and longitudes? As you already I told you, it is used to locate the place anywhere on the earth more accurately. So that is the reason why we are learning about latitudes and longitudes, and we are marking in the earth. So here if you take this picture, you have a network of latitudes and longitudes. So that is called as grid. So the meeting point of latitude and longitude is measured as the accurate position of any place on the earth. Okay, thank you children. So in this video you learned more about latitudes and longitudes, difference between latitudes and longitudes. Next video I will show you how to locate a place with the help of latitude and longitude. Thank you.